In the United States, the law promises equal justice for all, but in reality, justice often comes with a price tag. The American criminal justice system is a game best played by the rich. The wealthy have an unfair advantage in our legal system as they can afford top-notch legal aid. This was best showcased in the murder trial of O.J. Simpson.
In what's been called the trial of the century, O.J. Simpson seemed to face an unsurmountable battle.
I've never seen so much evidence against someone in a case that's gone to trial as there was against O.J. Simpson, ever.
In 1995, the world watched as O.J. Simpson stood trial for the murder of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman. Armed with a dream team of elite attorneys, Simpson's defense changed the landscape of the American courtroom. His vast wealth enabled him to buy top-tier legal talent, lawyers who were willing and able to use every tool in the book to secure a not guilty verdict.
Enter the so-called Dream Team, Simpson's all-star defense.
That'll be interesting, I think.
Including Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro, F. Lee Bailey, Alan Dershowitz, and of course his most trusted ally, Robert Kardashian.
Simpson's Dream Team, or his elite legal counsel, with a carefully curated strategy, expertly threw doubt onto the LAPD's investigation of Simpson during this murder trial. They created a sense of doubt strong enough for the jury to deliver a not guilty verdict.
Maybe I can demonstrate this graphically. Let me show you something. This is a knit cap. I'm gonna put this knit cap on. And you've been seeing me for a year. If I put this knit cap on, who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran with a knit cap.
In order to win this case, Simpson's lawyers would need to overcome a mountain of evidence. And that's exactly what they did.
And if you look at O.J. Simpson over there, and he has a rather large head, O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away is still O.J. Simpson. It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
The Sixth Amendment guarantees every criminal defendant the right to counsel, but for decades, that promise existed only on paper. That all changed in 1963. Clarence Earl Gideon was charged with a felony in Florida for breaking and entering. Too poor to afford a lawyer, he appeared in court without one. He requested to be appointed one. However, Florida state law at the time stated that an attorney may only be appointed to an indigent defendant in capital cases. An indigent defendant meaning a poor defendant. Gideon's request for a counsel was rejected, and he was found guilty, being sentenced to 5 years in prison. Gideon filed a habeas corpus petition, which was denied by Florida Supreme Court, but later taken to the National Supreme Court in 1963. In the now landmark case of Gideon v. Wainwright, the court ruled that the Constitution required state courts to appoint attorneys for defendants who could not afford to retain counsel on their own. This ruling was a step forward, but it didn't solve everything. Today, public defenders are the backbone of legal defense for millions of Americans, but they're often underpaid, overworked, and outmatched. While citizens have a greater secured right to counsel, financial guidelines still prevent many from obtaining counsel as they are not considered poor enough. Even when a citizen does receive counsel, it doesn't always level the playing field. A study of more than 5,200 cases found that the outcomes vary widely based upon whether a defendant was represented by a public defender or a private attorney. The study found that people who are represented by a public defender are more likely to be sentenced to serve jail time than those who are represented by a private attorney. On average, received a jail sentence that was 3 years shorter than those represented by public defenders. For many, the inequality starts in their day-to-day lives. A study from the National Law Center of Homelessness and Poverty, examining laws related to homelessness in 187 cities across the U.S., reveals a significant increase in laws criminalizing various behaviors relating to homelessness, such as bans on sleeping, sitting, or lying down in public, sleeping in your vehicle, begging, and loitering. This problem of inequitable treatment further continues before a trial, as many people without financial means remain in jail prior to trial because they can't afford bail. That wait can cost them their jobs, their homes, and even their family. Many plead guilty, not because they are, but because it's the fastest way out. Those who are wealthy, like O.J. Simpson, never had that problem. Even later, during his robbery trial, he posted a $125,000 bail without hesitation. Supporters of the system argue that discretion by judges and prosecutors ensures fairness, but that power is often abused. A 2003 study by the Center of Public Integrity found that 2012 cases have been thrown out due to misconduct since 1970, yet only 44 of those resulted in any disciplinary consequences for the prosecutor. Even when they are charged, their punishments are often exceedingly lenient. Abuse of power by prosecutors only impedes the judicial process and undermines the credibility of the criminal justice system. While discretion for judges and prosecutors may be a necessity, we need to have a way to hold the people accountable who abuse their power. To fix the system, change must happen on multiple levels. One of the most important things we need to do is increase funding for public defenders. The Judiciary's 2024 request for public defender services is $1.5 billion, which is around 16% of its total budget request. This funding would pay for more than 3,700 lawyers, investigators, paralegals, and support personnel employed by the 82 FDOs across the country, as well as more than 12,000 CJA panel attorneys who are paid by the hour for appointed representation. Millions of people have been helped by public defenders, but imagine how many more can be helped if we just put a little more money into their funding. Another thing that could help fix the system is a public fund to help low-income citizens afford legal counsel, not just for the bare minimum, but for real representation. A public fund can help decrease the dependence on outside corporations. For example, the Legal Services Corporation is an example of an organization that serves the common good by helping provide legal assistance to the poor across the country. Nonprofit corporations such as this one are able to help many across the nation get legal aid. However, we cannot continue to rely on them. We need to take matters into our own hands to ensure that everyone will be able to afford adequate counsel during trial. The law says justice is blind, but in reality, she sees who has the money and who doesn't. Until we close the gap between rich and poor in our courts, we can't claim to have a truly just system.